Welcome back to the Artist Access, man. I am here with a young brother who I reached out to this guy. I saw him on social media doing this thing, and he I tried to get him on the show. When I asked him to come on the show. He agreed to come, but the brother popped up on me at the Artist Access Experience. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so we got the brother here today for the sit down. We got none other than my brother Resil in the building. What's going on, King?
What's good? What's
Yeah,
good? How you
yeah,
doing?
yeah. I'm
I'm
good,
glad to
brother.
be up here, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the name Resil,
Yeah.
how you come up with that name? Because I feel like is the play on real
Well, it's a play on resilience,
resilience. Okay,
but it's also what you call the acronym: Real Energy Solidified in Lyricism.
okay, yeah,
So that's actually a fresh name I got. I'm
yeah,
kind of doing a little rebrand.
yeah.
Back when I was doing a lot of rapping.
Right.
My name was Calabrese. Even before then, in high school, my name was Breezy.
Okay.
But just with evolution in life and everything, I felt
Yeah.
like I need to switch it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely, man. I changed my name. Look, when I first came out here, I was going by my real name, Siraj Rakim. Rakim,
Yeah.
my middle name, but and then I went from Siraj Rich King.
Yeah.
And then I flipped it to Siraj Rich God. You know. So
Hey.
right now I'm rocking that Siraj Rich God. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I turn my name into an affirmation. You feel me?
Yeah, that's how you feel, man. You gotta rock that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like I needed a stronger name. Something like pop a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you tell you was doing music first.
Yeah,
You spitting them bars.
man, I've been spitting for a long time. I
Yeah.
started with my homeboy. We were just making like stupid like parodies.
Okay. You
Uh,
talking about crying?
no, it was somebody else.
Okay,
Somebody
okay.
else. I was doing serious music by the time I got recording, but
Okay.
just doing silly parodies, and I was actually writing a little bit of poetry. Like they say, like sometimes like something that's in you, like writing, whatever, you've been doing that like as your talent. You just don't notice. So I was always like writing in elementary, writing short stories, doing presentations, being in front of people, not even really knowing what I like. It didn't take to high school for me to realize that, oh shit, this is something that
Right.
I really mess with.
Right.
So I started off with doing the parodies, then got in trouble in high school, got bored in ISS, just started writing a poem. And people was like, dang, you should keep doing that. That was nice. I said, oh shit, something that somebody like.
Right.
So
right.
then, I just kept doing poetry from there. So,
Right.
but,
right.
I've always been mixing poetry and rap.
Music,
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you prefer one over the other?
Music is my heart. Like,
Music is how you like the music a little bit better than the poetry?
Yeah, music is my heart. That's
Yeah.
why I say, that's why I put lyricism, that's important in my name, because at the end of the day, even when I do poetry, I kind of have a hip hop feel to it. It's crazy because people will be like, oh, your poetry be sounding like rap. And then when I rap, they be like, your rap sound like poetry. It's like, which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So I just be like, I'm just a poetic rapper. That's
Right.
all.
There you go. There you go.
Because it's rap first.
Right.
But
Right.
I love poetry as well. I grew up on that too.
Yeah, I like the intimacy of poetry, right?
Yeah.
Because like I told you, I started off doing concert music from the door, so you want people to hear what you're saying, right? So,
Right.
And I like the fact with poetry, you got the people undivided attention. It's like it's quiet and no music. It's just you, me, and my words.
Right.
So I love that about poetry.
And I agree with you. I appreciate that, because even in music, my main focus is my rhyme, my words. So now I have just me and my words. I don't have a beat behind me. And then I could take my time. I can learn to be theatrical with it. I can do what I want with my words. It's almost like different canvases. With music, I have the canvas of the beat, and I can have a certain flow with it, and I can have fun with the flow.
Right.
On the stage with spoken word, it's a different canvas of like, what can I do theatrical? What can I do? The pauses, the silence parts, what part do I put more emphasis on? Stuff like that. So, yeah.
A little more freedom with the poetry.
Yeah,
It's like with the rhymes, to be on rhythm of the beat, it's like the beat kind of keeps you in a certain space.
Right.
But you got to stay in there. You got to be in there. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So I know with poetry, I'm free.
Yeah.
I don't have to keep my words inside of the beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I learned. I used to write all of my poetry to music. I still write to music sometimes, but I learned to write without music sometimes, and I feel
Right.
real free like that. It's like I'm just free with no music.
Right.
I could just talk to y'all.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Get it off, you know.
Right. And that's why again I say like lyricism, because a lot of my poetry comes from music.
Yeah.
Like I do have like normal poetry that's not exactly spoken word. I do have two poetry books
Okay.
that's like, just normal poetry, but
Yeah.
then a lot of times
Yeah.
my spoken word are just like raps that I have slowed down or twisted to be spoken word. Because again, rap is rhythm and poetry is in there anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just a lot of adjustments, especially in the beginning. I was literally just rapping with no beat,
Right.
but just watching a lot of other poets just made me realize that, oh, I gotta switch it up a little bit, because it's like, okay, he's just rapping, but it's like, I had to add all those aspects to make it
Right.
feel like more spoken word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you have two poetry books?
Yeah, I got one called Insomnia. That's poetry from when I was in like middle school to like maybe my freshman year of college or whatever. Uh, and then I got another one called Blurry Scenes of Blue and Green.
Right.
I maybe dropped that one maybe like 5 years ago,
Okay.
and that was my most recent. One.
Yeah. So these poetry books, are these like you come up with the idea for the book after you have all of these poems already done, and it's like, let me make a book and put these poems in a book, or do you go into it with it? Well, then I'm about to write a poetry book and start writing poems for a book.
So I think it's the first. Like I'll write. I'll just write poems on the fly, or like, and just gather them together, and then I will see like a overarching theme when I put those poems together, and then I can make the theme of the book after that. So the book might have a few themes, but it all kind of comes together.
Yeah.
Like for instance,
Yeah.
Blurry Scenes of Blue and Green is titled that because it's all reflections of, like, I want the person to imagine me being at a park, and I'm just looking out into the trees, I'm looking out into the grass, I'm looking out to the lake, but that's not my view, because I'm in my head and I'm reflecting on all these things that I'm talking about in my poetry. So the scene is blurry, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I call it that.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. So do you enjoy performing the poetry and music? Are you like creating it better?
Man, that's a good question, cause man, ain't nothing like a writing a dope ass verse and then just going through it over and over again. I love recording. Recording is probably my favorite part,
Okay.
cause it's just fun to be in the booth and just
Yeah.
be yourself and just get your. Like I said, I've always been kind of quiet and reserved, and music has been the only way to really get my thoughts out. Get my At the time, my aggression and everything got to the point where people like, "Dang, you not yourself." It's like, this is me. You motherfuckers just don't see it, because if y'all see it, it's gonna be a problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was my chance to get a lot of my thoughts, a lot of my aggressions out, and I rely on music and poetry to do that. And then for that instance, like, that's why performing is so important to me, because I can let my thoughts out to the people in the world, like, better than just me talking, And you never know who can relate to you. There's been so many times where people come to me like, "Oh, I really related to your point, whatever," and that's a super blessing, that that a lot of times, especially in this world of social media, we feel like we're dealing with a lot of issues and problems by ourselves. It's a lot of issues with loneliness and dealing with things by ourselves. Like, just knowing that people are feeling your struggle as well, or things you got going on, just relieve some stress. Okay, I'm not the only one. We could figure this out together.
Right.
So yeah, that's important to me too.
Yeah. Yeah.